You can't see me. Either way, let's get this thing rolling, boy. Start the intro, boy.
Now, hello everybody. This is It's a Type of News. I'm Dutch Pittman, and this is Bruce Robinson.
Oh man, I was about to play the John Cena thing.
Can't do it. First of all, I just wanted to put a little pin in something that came across my desk. I'm just going to read it off here. It's something called Youth Vision Promotions that's going on, and I urge everybody to look into this and see how you can support it. It was started by Mr. Desmond Crockle and Mr. Linwood Richardson. So I just wanted to get the names right. I think this is a great step in the right direction.
I think it's an excellent step in the right direction.
Yeah, it's basically a program about I guess you can say throwing block parties in a summary, where it's a great way to get
inclusion,
the community and the youth included in something very positive. Of course, an undertaking like that is very expensive, so they are looking for people to volunteer and people to sponsor, i.e. these big companies.
Exactly. However, something like this could be extremely beneficial in the long run, because what most people fail to realize is that when it, like, how do I put this? It's good for morale. Morale is crucial to everything. If people aren't motivated to do anything or motivated to make a difference, then what's the point? If we're doing something like this on however often we decide to do it, and this is constantly improving neighborhood morale, improving national morale, like, you know, we're more willing to try tackling different issues, the better we feel like we connect with each other. I think this is a good step to getting Bermuda back to the days where, you know, everybody that lived on the street knew everybody and actually spoke to everybody, rather than us go and huddle in our little hovels.
That's right.
Like hermits.
Yeah.
Because an included community is a united community. And if we have division is where we get all these gang members from, because these guys looking for communities and they find it in less than reputable individuals.
Exactly. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach this article, because it has their contact information. I'm not going to put it out here on public knowledge, but I am going to put it in the attachment.
Well, it still would be public knowledge.
Yeah, but I mean, it would be under the Royal Gazette article, so.
Yeah, so, you know, we didn't get sued?
Yeah, because we haven't actually contacted them, and we just thought it was a really, really great idea that everyone should know about.
Yeah,
and
like
that we should praise.
They said nice things about us.
Yeah, but we should praise two gentlemen who are trying to take a stand in the community and actually try to get something done.
Hallelujah.
So we wanted to start off with that point first, to sink that in. And now,
about those town hall meetings?
Yeah. So we put up a video last time, right? It's still trending right now.
Oh, what a mercy.
Let me tell you something.
It has recently been brought to our attention.
Yep.
That our questions that we have been raised were actually being answered, and we were being given updates on the PLP's progression through town hall meetings.
Yeah. So
town hall meetings. Where are these town hall meetings? What town hall? St. George's Town Hall? Town Hall? I don't even know someone that has a town hall.
We felt as though we should go back to the premise of that last video, but do a second video following up on the pettiness within the people. Now, I find that we focus a lot on the government.
Well, we found the pettiness in the government yesterday.
Well, yeah, Mr. Famous. The articles that were shared on the page, I'm going to tell you this now, anyone can table the bill.
Anybody can table the bill.
So, that one article, if you feel like a town hall meeting is better than a national address,
live streamed or not, a town hall meeting. How many people, remember that town hall meeting we went to? How many people was there? 20? 30?
That's not the point.
Even if you get 100 people at a town hall meeting, it's a town hall meeting.
My point is that you're telling me that a national address that the entire country is paying attention to should be reserved for a third speech that alludes to something that never happened. A trip that never happened was given more prevalence on a larger scale than stuff that's actually happening.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, the town hall should have been where that little petty issue should have been handled. And then the national address should have been where, hey, this is, I haven't heard much from MP Della Rebellion.
I ain't heard nothing from him.
Follow up on how we're going to do this education clean. So I guess I got to tune into the town hall and hear about the state of our entire country.
Well, not even just that. You want updates with national security. You can go to Wayne Kane's Facebook page. But the thing is, the problem with that statement, especially you telling us that a town hall meeting took place where information was given, it's like, why, as the people, do we have to go looking for what you're doing?
Oh, apparently it was quite obvious. We just missed it.
A town hall meeting?
Yeah, it's
quite obvious.
Yeah,
yeah. Because Donald Trump, just went down to the church in Alabama with the congregation of 13 members and was like, listen, this is how we're gonna do the national budget.
No,
that's literally the equivalent of what you're saying. It is not acceptable for a town hall meeting. If anything, you should have just kept your mouth shut because that just made you look worse.
Well, here's the thing.
And we're not trying to make you look bad. We're not.
I feel like we within the community have to understand that it's just like in the military. Stuff trickles down here. Okay, it rolls down here. Right? Oh yeah, there we go. That's
just
why.
a bunch of ish.
Yeah, that's why we passed them over. Okay, that's why. I ticked the box myself. But
that's not why I got up.
I think that we have to understand that this stuff rolls downhill. I understand that we as the people enjoy pointing fingers at the government. Now, the reason why we called for an end of pettiness within the government is so that we can get an example set, but I feel like it needs to be more concise towards an end of pettiness community-wide as well.
Yes, because the government, whether you like to admit it or not, a government is a reflection of its people. The government is a reflection of its supporters. If a government is corrupt, that's because the people allowed it to get corrupt. If a government is good, then that's because good people put it into perspective. So if we have a problem with the government, it's the same way that we have a problem with these gang members. How did we get that problem, and what did we do to stop it when we saw the signs?
Yeah. And I mean,
did we turn the other way, like we always do?
You look on the forums and you see the same stuff. I mean, you talk to people in the community, you see the same woes.
Yeah.
Nobody is looking to reach over the aisle. And I'm not just talking about in the house. I'm talking about within the community as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because Mr. Gilden Richards, I hope I got that name right, but he put up a post in the Bermuda elections chat, which is, of course, a PLP central chat-ish. I don't want to label it, but it kind of
is. It is what it is.
So he put this post out where it was basically, in summary, saying that we need to work together and put aside ill wounds and move on and try to support this and that. And of course, the first thing he got was where was Dunkley and this and where was this and that. But my thing is, okay, so we can sit there and do that all day, can't we, as a community?
Oh, yeah.
And of course, as soon as I spoke up, oh, OBA is #1 defender, you have a nice day. Well, my thing is, okay, if I have a different view from you in the community, how can you sit here behind your computer and demand that the government work together when you as a person and we as a people can't?
Well, it's not even just like, okay. It goes back to, remember when they used the term Facebook gangsters? If you can't step away from the safety of your keyboard and actually have a decent conversation with somebody. When I walk around town on a daily basis, sometimes I'll see some people that have vividly come after us, and then when you see them, it's just, oh, hi, and just keep walking. So you wouldn't even talk to somebody that has a differing opinion of you. And I think one of the biggest problems with it's just a problem with humans in general. But I can't change the world, but I can do what I can to change Bermuda. Bermudians, if you have a differing belief or opinion or outlook, you get put into a box with everybody else that believes you. So, we got this box of PLP. I'm drawing fake box. You can't really see what they're doing. You got this box of OBA. Mm-hmm. You got this box of Muslims, this box of Christians, this box of atheists, this box of white people, this box of black people, this box of Portuguese people, and it's like everybody's like, oh, we need to come together as a country. We need to unify as a country. But everybody that says that they want to unify is still keeping the multiple box system alive and well. Because the only way you can unify people is if you tear down all these stupid little petty cardboard walls. And I'm saying cardboard walls because they're not hard to break through. You just have to want to do it.
I think it's more along the lines of unity is understanding. Unity is allowing a person to believe something differently than you and to still engage with them like a human being.
This is what I'm saying.
It allows for a person to do wrong and for that person to be wrong and not right because another person on the opposing side has done the same deed.
Or not even just that, because wrong and right is very relative.
Well, I'm going to put it to you this way. Those politicians up on the top of the hill owe you everything. As the people, they owe you everything.
Every breath they take is a gift from you.
How can you be here fighting their battles for them against your own? I don't understand it. My main goal when I go and comment on the forum is to not only understand the other side, but to lay an opinion that I believe can benefit this country. Okay? The difference is that we as a community have become so basically warped into believing that in order for there to be peace, we all have to think the same. And the sad thing is when you really come at somebody and you say, hey, you are only coming after me because I supported the OBA or I support the PLP. And that person says, no, I'm coming after you because of this. But let me put it to you this way. On that forum, you constantly see people to tell the opposition to take several seats or to sit off or to disappear or the OBA needs to just go into the wind. But you weren't saying that when the PLP was opposition. So why exactly do we feel as though once our side is in, the other side needs to just die off?
Because everybody's either a sore loser or a sore winner.
Exactly. And that's exactly why this keeps spinning around, because everyone tolerates things when their favorite player is in power. Because if you guys decided that education was actually the forefront of the issue, you guys wouldn't be resting until Mr. Diallo Rabane was out front bi-weekly telling you guys what he's doing.
First of all, we wouldn't rest until Diallo Rabane is sitting there, going to the grocery store and buying nothing but Monsters and Red Bulls because we're trying to get him to do as much as he possibly can to make sure everything's done. If the man is sleeping, he's not doing his job. If the man is eating, he's not doing his job. If the man is resting, he's not doing his job. And that goes for all politicians. If you're resting, you're not doing your job. This is your life. When you commit to serve the people, everything you do, it's about the people. Now, obviously, I'm exaggerating. I'm expecting you to not sleep or eat, but you know what I'm saying.
The OBA lost the election because they did not communicate with the people.
Exactly.
They were doing things that no one knew they would do until after they lost.
And it was too late.
So, the people were frustrated with that with one government, but they tolerate a plethora of substitutes from the current one. Because as far as I'm concerned, they have a 100-day challenge that is rapidly coming to a close.
They have a 40-day challenge.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait,
that 40? Is rapidly coming to a close.
Give or take.
And looking through that throne speech, it's it comes back to when exactly are the people going to unify and say, we want change now? Because our education system has been changing for the last 40 years. Okay, our crime rate has been getting tackled for the last 40 years. Our cost of living has been getting assessed for the last 40 years.
What was that Mr. Hollis said to us today? That one of the big problems is that everybody's making decisions, but they're sending it to committee. And I can't remember the gentleman's name, but he said that if you want something to not get done, you send it to committee.
If you want a bill to not get passed,
send it to committee. But that's a topic for another video. But back to division amongst the community. It goes beyond just, like I said with my whole little box theory, it goes beyond just politics. It's everything. It's socialness, it's class system, it's religion, it's, how many white parents would be upset if their son or daughter brought home a black person?
Well,
how many black parents are upset when their son or daughter bring home a white person? Even in my experience, I've dated a white girl before, and members of my family were like, you couldn't find the system? And it's like, isn't our great grandma white?
Well, Bermuda is a big melting pot.
It is a big melting pot.
We aren't melting because we are allowing.
It should be melting pot, but we turn the fire off.
Folks who want to get reelected, folks who want to get into positions that benefit them. And I'm not going to classify both parties as such, but there are members of each party that personify this divide. Okay? And I think it's working on both sides. And
especially in regards to society, because the thing is, we emulate what we see.
No, they emulate what we allow from ourselves. This is what I'm trying to explain.
Fair enough.
The politicians do not dictate how society goes. Because we dictate it, but we have lost our ability to dictate to them because we turn a blind eye once they're in power. The thing is, the PLP ran an election of overturning these business-minded, disconnected, rich elites. And that's exactly what they did.
And they built a platform, win the election around unity, about bringing people together.
But where was the challenge from the community for themselves? Why exactly must a people be classed against one another to be corralled to vote? Because I understand that, yes, there are issues that were expounded upon in the recent time. But when you really, really look at these issues, they're nothing new. They're nothing new. Why exactly would the community allow itself to remain fractured like this? Because regardless of which political party is in, the community remains fractured. We blacks we still refuse to support one another.
Mm-hmm.
In business, in life, in sports, in arts, in anything.
And the thing is, as far as us young people are concerned, it's especially scary for us because who can we turn to? The older generation consistently comes up to us and like, listen, young man, let me tell you how it is. That right there, you already lost them. You already lost the person you're speaking to. We can't turn to each other. Well, actually, no, we can turn to each other. I think we found that us young people, the only people we can turn is to each other. We can't turn to our parents anymore because our parents' values and our new young values drastically differ. We can't turn to the churches because...
Well, do they? Because in recent times, what I have noticed is initially when we first tackled this youth division from the older generation, we originally assessed it as a difference in ideals, a difference in goals. But what I'm seeing now is that that is not the case at all. These problems are manifesting differently in each generation, but the problems are the same. Because even now with the youth, we can't even come together.
Nope.
So I feel like it's not even so much a generational thing, it is a countrywide cultural thing that we just simply cannot believe that something good comes from this country. And if something good is in this country, we force it out. It has to leave, or they have to leave. And I have heard it several times. If something is shot well in this country, oh, that can't be Bermudian. Or if somebody is making it big, it's, oh, she must have been trained by someone overseas. So we refuse, even amidst us having a sailing team in a internationally recognized competition.
The second biggest competition in the world.
We could not come together as a community and bypass our political divisions in order to support a team of Bermudians on home turf. That is embarrassing, and I have to this day, been disappointed in that.
I wasn't able to make it to all of them, but I was there for the first Bermudian race, I was there for the last, and I was there for the last Bermudian race. I tried to go to all of them. You was busy about the regiment, so you couldn't have came. But I saw maybe 20, maybe 30 Bermudians there with t-shirts. And, Bermudians make a lot of noise, so, when that Bermudian team, of course, finished line, everybody was cheering and going crazy, but the amount of Bermudian Team Bermuda shirts I saw in the ocean of Oracle shirts and New Zealand shirts, and even France had more shirts than Bermuda. I'm sorry. No, I'm not saying anything bad to France. I'm just, they were out early. I'm just saying. Regardless, where was support for the Bermudian team? Oh, how many people would have been there to support that Bermudian team if more of the sailors were black? Or if, America's Cup wasn't tied to the previous government? Or if
sailing wasn't identified as a white sport?
There's 1,000,001 reasons.
And you know what? I could chalk it up to, okay, maybe it was at a time where a lot of people were working. Maybe it was at a time where a lot of people didn't have as much money.
Those races were about a few days, and they had only costed $10 to get in. I'm sorry.
But I'm just saying.
I'm sorry, but the excuses to why you were not there supporting your own people.
Well, the excuses can work for some. I don't know what their life standards are, but what I am saying is that
I'll give you $10 to go to a race.
There is no community-wide appreciation for something Bermudian done. We have a guy named Koshan Evans who has a song that was blowing up and trending, and he was going to go to that Uber Soca thing, and all he needed was a bit of support.
Did he get it?
He got it. He got a touch of it, but we have 40,000 Bermudians on the island?
More than that. About 50, 60.
Yeah,
not including expats.
That's what okay. But either way, I feel like he should have got I feel like he should have got 20,000 votes easy.
Easy. And the thing is, Koshan is a very young, very talented young man. I've known Koshan for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
We went to school together.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a little younger than me, but
we had another one that performed in front of a stadium of thousands of people.
10,000 people, Jeroy.
That's right.
What happened when Jeroy came back?
Nothing. Well, how have we?
And I'm cool with Jeroy. I talked to Jeroy. I ain't heard nothing from him. But okay, no, I've heard from him. But I just, where's his support?
Yeah. So as a community, it's like we expect our politicians to stay at a higher standard. Like when Mr. Richards got caught on that hot mic saying a whole bunch of foolishness. Okay, so everyone wants to criticize him, but where's the introspective microscope on yourself? Or, how the now opposition is hopping all over this trip with Mr. Burke, but on the
back when they were
side,
tripping over that trip with Miss Cannon, it was like, oh, drag him through the streets, string him up by his toes, dude. What he did was wrong. He stole and he did this and blah, 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 blah. And it's just like, brethren, y'all pull out the torches and the pitchforks when it's not your people.
it needs to be a line.
There needs to be a line. And like I said, frankly, I don't even want to hear about this hotel gate. I just want everybody to just do your job. But the problem is, Bermudians as a community, we give too many free passes when it's something we like. We're too understanding when it's something we're connected to. And when it's something that we're not connected to, like example, the church versus gay marriage, it's no, this is wrong because my 2,000-year-old, no, not 2,000. This is wrong because my 1,500-year-old book written by a bunch of corrupt white people said that it's wrong. Look, I ain't gonna sugarcoat nothing. The Bible was held and written by the Catholic Church until it was translated by Martin Luther during the Reformation.
Why are we just talking about acceptance of beliefs in the
I accept people's beliefs and everything, and I accept everything, but when you use that belief as a weapon to keep people in those boxes, that's when I have a problem.
Oh yeah.
You don't see me coming down to the Muslims because the Muslims, they fine. They got that nice baker. The Lord has
Just
mercy.
over there, Sharia law and something.
But I'm not talking about the Middle East. I'm talking about the Muslims. There's a difference. Regardless, it's just woes. It's woes that are being put up. It's through everything. It's through everything. I am the biggest nerd I know. I mean, okay, this isn't really a nerdy shirt, but
no, it's not.
It's a classic shirt. You know what I'm saying? Regardless, us nerds we get put into a box because we don't like sports. You know, people come to me like, "Oh, what's your favorite football team?" I'm like, Rah Gryffindor?
Good Lord.
Like, what am I supposed to say to that? I understand Quidditch more than I understand regular football.
God.
Because I am a nerd, and I'm happy to be a nerd, but the thing is, I get put into a box and can't have conversation with other regular people because, you know, people only want to talk to me when the next movie comes out.
Well, it's just a matter of centering it to the community. At the end of the day, we love beating the dead horse, and we love to win. And
beating the dead horse, the horse's bones are dust by now.
If you are going to continuously hang on to the past, there is no possible way that a future can be born. If these things continue, because if you look at it, the PLP has won the election, and they have spent the first bit of time completely trying to discredit the OBA.
Mm-hmm.
When that time should be spent focusing on turning over a new leaf like they said they would, because they said that they would not continue the politics of old. And even when the Speaker of the House took his position, he said that will not be tolerated in my house.
Clearly that was a lie.
The OBA has spent more time creating suitable solutions and alternative solutions to the things they are criticizing the PLP about. They have spent more time attacking them on petty crap that don't matter. Because I'm going to tell you this right now. Even if you manage to discredit Premier Bart and his party removes him as Premier, the PLP still going to be in power.
This is what I'm saying. Like, but what the OBA needs to do, they need to just pull back. Now, I'm not saying they need to sit down. They need to pull back. They need to reevaluate the situation. They lost the election. They need to pick up the pieces, and they need to get themselves ready. So remember what you said last time about how the PLP spent the last 5 years trying to be the best opposition, and the OBA spent the last years trying to be the best government. Well,
I feel like they both flunked.
They both flunked, but now we see the OBA trying to be the best opposition, and the PLP trying to be the best opposition.
But that's the thing. I don't want the best. I want healthy.
This is what I'm saying.
I want a healthy government who is coming out and saying this is what we're doing, and a healthy opposition that is not trying to trip the government out. Because a healthy opposition does not just oppose to oppose. A healthy opposition opposed and said, here's an alternative plan that the people might like. The whole thing is, it's time for everyone to put on the big boy pants and understand that alternative plans is what the opposition is there for. The opposition is not there to say or detract from what the government is currently doing. It is there to support, but also to check. As in, there doesn't need to be a government post for government reform. That is literally the sole purpose of the opposition, is to challenge, reform the government. In other words, if the government is doing something and the checks and balances ain't ticked, then that means that the opposition is supposed to come in and tick those balances, okay? And I don't care if it's the PLP opposition or the OBA opposition, it's time for them to stop being a bunch of kids and oppose properly. In other words, there's a lot of things that could be attacked because I have not seen too much from the opposition on the 100-day plan.
Nope.
That is something that should be checked on. That is something that the opposition should be demanding updates on. Okay? The PLP is doing more, Bart's promoting us in New York, it's doing this and this. I don't give a crap. Okay? I don't give a flying crap sandwich.
Or town hall meetings.
Okay? Because we had the BTA promoting our country every bloody well day, and we are already very well known in New York, so I could give a crap if our premier is over there for a nice casual meeting or pitching us when he could have sent somebody or his delegates over there. What I want him to be doing is worrying about his 100-day plan. Okay? That's what I want him to be doing. And if the opposition is going to continue to do what it's doing and to hit nicely and to play nicely, you should play nice, but you should play smart too. And for the government, your job is not to crush the opposition. Your job is to show the opposition what it's supposed to do. In other words, tactfully and respectfully tell Aunt Pat, hey, that is not the issue at hand, and then hit her with facts as to this is what my team is doing. I don't want to hear nothing but a town hall, Mr. Famous, because you won your seat, but I don't see you in the house. So as far as I'm concerned, you should stay off the stage with that crap, okay?
And it even goes beyond that, because what I want from the One Bermuda Alliance, like you just referenced on Pat getting up there,
right?
Talk about hotel game. If the interim leader of the OVA is trying to do something like that, then I want to see Nick Kemp, Grant Gibbons, Robin Swan, Nandy, my dad, everybody to be like, no, boo-boo. No. That's not how we do things.
Yeah. Aren't they all shadow ministers of a certain...
This is what I'm saying.
So that's exactly what they should be shadowing. They should be pinpointing any issue, any outlying issue. That is something that I was expecting from the PLP because they have been opposition for about they're probably new to it. But you know what? I figured that, hey, instead of going up there and tossing out false numbers and a whole bunch of hogwash, how about we go and say, oh, there's where you're being messed up and here's exactly how we could do better.
That would be something. That would be real something. Like, you know.
And now the OBA, who spent all this 5 years up on the pedestal saying, oh, there's the PLP. They're done, they're mudslinging. That's all they can do.
Well, look what you guys doing now.
Mudslinging. Exactly. So I can't tolerate it. So
no, we're not going to tolerate it.
I feel like we made a mistake in our last video, which is why we have made this video. We issued a call of no pettiness to the government. But you know what?
No issue, no call, no pettiness to everybody.
That's right. This community needs to stop allowing your representatives to make us look like a global, worldwide embarrassment. Okay? So, because you lot spend a lot of time talking about expats this, well, they laugh at you because this stuff will not be tolerated in their government. Okay, because Donald Trump is president, and you know what? You lot don't like it. They don't like it, but guess what? That's how it is, and we have to get over it. Which means that it is no, the PLP this, the OBA that. It is Bermuda. They are the government of the country. Not your premier, not my premier, our premier. There is no pronoun but our. I don't understand how you can sit there behind your computer screens or sit there and pump this pathetic scraping of the surface politics that we have here, where it's nothing getting done but people patting you on your back and telling you you're getting free stuff. If you want free stuff, then you could go to Salvation Army or something like that and pick up, or somewhere where they have a bargain barn or something where they're giving away stuff, or maybe a home sale where someone's giving away a free couch. But with our country, it shouldn't be about, I'm voting for this so that my mama can get free this or free that. No. What is best for the country? What is best for the country? Ask yourself that. Is it you feeling safe with a black government? Or is it for the white folks feeling safe with a business-centric government that will continue to line their pockets? Is that what is considered good governance to you?
I don't think, no.
So as a community, how dare you criticize your politicians when you voted them in? How dare you? Because you voted them in. which means they're doing a horrible job, and the horrible politicians are a reflection of you. So, I think that how about we set an example for our government and start becoming better people?
Mm-hmm.
We continue to scrape the top of an issue. We say expats within our community are taking our jobs, but we refuse to admit that they can outwork us at those jobs.
They can what?
They can outwork us at this
Oh
job.
yeah. How many business people were spoken to that came up to us explaining that they would love to hire Bermudians, but when they do hire Bermudians, they're late. They don't show up to work on time. Well, late and don't show up to work on time. It's the same thing. But they're lazy. They're always on their phone.
Is this all of us? Of course
No, not all of us. Definitely not all of us, but enough of us to make a difference.
Because I know as soon as the problem with us in the community is that we get our knickers in the twist so quickly. As soon as a bit of criticism comes our way, it's like get a lot of knickers in the twist. I mean, it's like with the teachers union, you know how much they make a year. As soon as you criticize the teacher, it is like, ooh! Or as soon as you wanted to criticize a police officer who makes a lot too, it's acceptable. So I feel like we have to learn to take criticism within our community. We have to learn that there's always a way to be better.
We can't
Just
take
because
criticism.
I criticize a teacher does not mean I don't like teachers. It does not mean that I do not respect what they do.
Or even that we don't like that specific teacher. It's just how, like, when we criticize the government, we don't want. It's not that we don't want bad phrasing. When we criticize the government, it's not that we want a new one. It's just that if we can't criticize people and people aren't open to criticism, how the hell are we supposed to grow as a society? No. This is the deal. No longer are we going to sit here and exclusively take the offensive to the opposition and the current government. From now on, we're coming after everybody. Because the problem, as you said, goes deeper than us scratching the skin of it. We need to get to the meat and potatoes of the issue. Because the problem with the government and the opposition is the tip of the iceberg.
It's a problem with us.
It's a problem with, and the bottom, which is the biggest part, is us, the people. So no longer are we tolerating us giving anybody free passes. No longer are we tolerating us standing by and turning the other cheek. No longer are we tolerating anything from anybody. Because from now on, when we see something, we're calling it out. Why? Because apparently nobody else has the balls to do it.
And everyone likes to call us out.
Everybody likes to call us out. Everybody likes to say what they want from the safety of their keyboards. Everybody wants to have the private conversations in their house. But the problem with this country is that nobody wants to speak up.
Yeah, we put a face to a problem, and we throw a dart in that face, and that's the face that takes of the problem. Wayne Farbert is the face of the opposition of same-sex marriage. But you know what? He is just one of the many faces. Okay? But yet we take Wayne Farbert and throw darts at his face. Oh, he did this, he did that. Well, when will you go within your community and look at how he is able to do these things? Why he has the support that he has. This is something that we need, and you know why? Because no one has taken the time to implement any sort of educational thing on homosexuality. Our community, and I'm not talking about the children. What I'm talking about is adults. Adults being educated on what exactly this is. You know what I mean? Because they don't know it. They know what they think they know.
And the thing is, Greg and Winston, I don't know if they've still been spoken to.
Yeah, but I'm just getting on your list.
I'm just saying, but I feel that if that conversation would have taken place, and if that conversation would have been documented, I think people would understand a bit more.
Yeah.
You know what?
But we put Craig Ander's face on Jack Kate, and we threw darts at that.
Dogs, they threw rocks.
But
they threw trebuchet bolts at that.
Regardless of what the hell they threw, my thing is, there were other members of other people on that plane.
Oh yeah, and all of them got off scot-free except for their old
All
dad.
we do in Bermuda, even with you with Braun, we pinned all the corruption on Uncle Ewan and not on his cronies that were with him.
Even David Burt.
All we do is we grab somebody, lasso him, and we say, this is the person that is the cause of all our problems, and we are focusing everything on him, and then we cut the head off the snake, but guess what? The arms are still wiggling around, and the body is still...
I don't think snakes have arms.
Well, snakes have arms. But his body is still hopping around.
Okay, let's use a better analogy. We're allowing the people responsible to use the face that we come after as a human shield.
Because it's us. No matter what problems we try to root out the government, they will always crop up because it's within us. It's within this community. This racism thing, it's within us. It's not one party oppressing us. It's us within our community. There are people within our community oppressing other members of the community based on their own personal privileges and wants. And this is something that we don't tackle. Sure, remove the OBA from power, but you have yet to tackle the issue of those who have and those that don't. So it's like as soon as we take down that thing that takes all the darts, we just forget the problem ever existed. And we just don't do anything about it. So now ITTP has decided to challenge the community to follow up. Not just the government, because our first issue was to the government to follow up on its platform promises, but now our issue is to the community to follow up on the government you elected. Make sure they spend their time doing for you and what is best for what comes after you.
Like Christopher Famous said, the people have spoken. And because the people have spoken,
They need to keep speaking.
they need to keep speaking. And we will hold the people accountable just as we hold the government. Because the government is only a reflection of its supporters.
This has been This Type of News.
Check y'all later.
I'm Dutch Pyramid. That's Bruce Robinson, and we're mad.